Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 4th, I believe it is, 2025 Parks and Recreation regular hybrid video meeting. The time is now 5:02 p.m. My name is Commissioner Peter Struck, and my term as chair ended on May 31st. But with the current vacancy of a chair, staff has asked that I preside over this meeting until the commission appoints a chair later this evening, and I assure you we will. Tonight's Park and Recreation Commission meeting is in person at the Mercer Island Community and Events Center, and we are also using video conferencing technology provided by Zoom. The Zoom video of this meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the city's YouTube channel later this week. Public audience members may be watching the meeting in person at the Mercer Island Community and Events Center, by telephone, or online. Welcome to all, and thank you for joining us tonight. Commissioners, please turn on your microphones, and will the city staff please call the roll?
Thank you, Commissioner Struck. Commissioner Hay?
Here.
Commissioner Markson? Commissioner Cohen?
Here.
Commissioner Westberg?
Here.
Commissioner McCarthy?
Here.
Commissioner Bretman?
Here.
And Commissioner Struck.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. City staff, is there anyone who has signed up for appearances that wishes to address the commission this evening?
No, Commissioner Struck. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Therefore, the first item on the agenda this evening is the staff liaison report and planning schedule update. And for that, we welcome Recreation Manager, Mr. Ryan Daly.
Good evening, commissioners. It feels like it's been a really long time, but I got to see most of you over the summer, and I thank you for attending our events and staying in communication the whole way through. I do have a mediumly short presentation, but we do have some things to catch up on and keep you informed. A couple of project updates. Roanoke Playground is ready for play. This renovation was funded by the 2022 Parks Levy, which replaced the aging equipment, improved accessibility, and enhanced drainage infrastructure at the park. We had a great engagement with the community through 2 surveys and a virtual meeting to inform on this project. And also, staff is putting on the finishing touches through the fall to wrap up this very well-used facility already. So it's seeing a lot of use. We do have an ADA spot that's opening up, sounds like this weekend. So that'll be available as well. And you can continue to follow any updates there on the Let's Talk page below. Oh, the Luther Burbank Courts. We've been talking about this project, feels like forever. And they are open and they are done and they are busy. The staff has been very engaged with users, as I think I've mentioned to the Parks Commission before, over a number of new enhancements and different requests that are coming forward. We're still kind of sitting back and reviewing those as they come in and looking at ways that we can integrate as we go forward. And some of that policy work, as I mentioned below, will come forward to the commission later this fall. Overcrowding and access is at times an issue. It's very specific times where you can imagine a weekend evening or any evening such as tonight, it's going to be crowded down there. But there are times when there's plenty of availability for court. So it really is dependent on the time that you have availability to go out there. And we're reviewing that and looking at different ways that we can help to create additional or more consistent community access. The Mercer Island Rotary Club held a really successful first event on those courts over the August 22nd through 24th weekend. Went very well, very positive. The weather was absolutely perfect. As you can imagine, parking was maybe the challenge we encountered down at that site. One of the things I'm really proud of our staff here at the community center, the way they managed that and held specific spots up here in our lot to ensure that those pickleball patrons, as well as the patrons to the community center, had adequate parking. So very successful. And as I mentioned before, looking forward to coming back to the Parks Commission later this fall with, to discuss usage and reservation policies. And we will keep that website up to date there. That's actually the website for the courts. And I see Commissioner Westberg has a question.
Just a quick question. How many participants were there in that tournament? Any idea?
It was just over 200. Commissioner Struck may know the number for sure.
What I saw was 240
Whoa,
or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah, so
awesome. Yes.
it's sold
yes.
out.
It sold out. It did. They did an excellent job working with our staff here at the community center to really create a positive environment for that activity. And I foresee that continuing on to the future. I think it's a great continued annual event that we can continue to collaborate on. Well, this is less fun. WashDOT I-90 expansion joint replacement. Just want to highlight to the commission. There's quite a bit of information on this page. I'm not going to go through all of it, but starting on September 18th, there will be some pretty extreme traffic impacts here on Mercer Island. I encourage you to stay aware of that. Feel free to go to the website. You'll see emails coming from city staff that we encourage our commissioners to forward out to other community members, just so everybody is aware. But we'll be very limited on our access to I-90 here on Mercer Island, and we are expecting pretty significant backups. Now to more fun stuff. See how this is like a sandwich I'm creating here. Summer camp success. This was a great year. And the commission will recall I have a number of annually we have a conversation about outcomes. We had a very strong summer camp season this year. We had 1,300 camp participants in 10 different camps hosted here at the community center, as well as other areas of the park. A great example of a sort of a resurgence of a program. Our Lego camp returned. Previously had 38 participants. This year it had 89. Great growth. I'm going to attribute that to a new hire that we made this year, actually, in Chris Del Pilar. Did an excellent job marketing these camps and setting them up for success, and communicating with our community members and these camp programs for a very structured summer. Went very, very well. Looking forward to next year. We actually exceeded, and we'll talk about this later in the year when we do our annual recap, but we actually exceeded our revenue projections this year by about $9,000. So very in line with our expectations and what we feel the community seeks and needs from camp programs. So very proud of our team on this one. Summer celebration, another excellent year. It was a blast. Very well attended, tons of smiles. It was a ton of fun. We had over 30 groups plus City of Mercer Island groups in the parade to kick off Saturday's festivities. Crowds were lining 78th Street from Sunset to Mercerdale. Huge thank you to everyone who contributed, who helped make this event special. We do have a number of community members who assist in this, as well as all of the businesses. And we don't mention this all the time, but some of those businesses along that parade route, they get shut off a bit, and that becomes an impact. But they welcome this parade, and their support is greatly appreciated. The daytime festivities, as I mentioned, we had the parade. We also had over 70 booth vendors, sponsors, and community groups, multiple food trucks. We had a ton of city booths and a touch-a-truck event. The foam party, as you can see below, I was not in the foam party, but the kids absolutely love it. And then we also had some really, really great bands this year. City staff and multiple booths spent time engaging with the community. It's really our opportunity and to credit our city manager for pushing city staff from every department to participate. Really creates a solid engagement with the community. We turned the community center over into a paid parking lot, made $5,550 in sales here that goes directly to supporting this event. That is a real picture. That it is pretty amazing to show how incredible our firework display is. But We had a ton of people here in this park, very, very well attended. A huge thank you to our police department, our Parks and Rec staff, our public works staff, who worked that night and made that so successful. And we had an absolutely outstanding band at this location as well. I'm not going to go through all of the sponsors, but we couldn't put this event on without them. And so if you see any of them or if you frequent one of their businesses, please tell them thank you. It's a truly great partnership. Gosh, another good one. God, this is just full of good news. Mostly Music in the Park. We had 6 weeks this year. Absolutely fantastic concerts at Mercerdale. The music ranged from a Beatles tribute band to an 80s new wave band. The crowds were estimated to be between 400 and 600. Outstanding sponsors, outstanding weather. I think we ended up one concert. It started to rain like in the last 20 minutes, but otherwise just very well attended, very positive feedback. We are committed to this stage that you see in the picture now. That's really elevated this event to sort of a new level that's drawing in such a large contingent of the community and just has turned out to be extremely successful. So thank you to all of the sponsors. And I do want to call out the Mercer Island Community Fund. They really prioritized this event this year, and they're the reason we had the stage was through their push. So we really appreciate the support that them as well as all the other sponsors provide to us. Other city events, Shakespeare in the park held 15 shows, large crowds, reaching up to 300 attendees down there. As you're thinking, as I'm thinking when I say that number, wow, parking can be a challenge. We think about that here at the community center. So oftentimes we try to section off parts of the parking lot up here on those show nights. That is a King County for Culture grant that primarily sponsors Shakespeare as well as the community fund. Juneteenth was another excellent event that occurred back in June in partnership with the MIHS Black Student Union. Excellent day, very similar to Mostly Music in the Park, a really strong crowd, very, very community oriented, and we're looking forward to next year already. Pride in the Park, we tried something new this year. We actually combined it with Mostly Music and started Pride in the Park a bit earlier. Another one with a number of community members that came out and support from the Mercer Island Visual Arts League, as well as a number of sponsors and just the attendees in general. Very supportive, very inclusive event that was extremely successful. Good job, Raven. And we do have more events on the horizon. Art Uncorked is September 6th. Mercer Island Chamber of Commerce is ramping up for that event on that Saturday from 3 to 7 p.m. There will be music, artisan booths, food, and of course, wine. Feel free to buy tickets early, which it's not that early because it's only 2 days away. So please take a look. I know from what I had heard, tickets were selling very, very quickly. Out in the lobby, as part of the Community Center Art Gallery, we have the Community Photography Show. In partnership with MyVol, we're offering this art show showcasing artists from Mercer Island. And if you get a chance tonight, please take a walk through there. There are some incredible photographs out there. This exhibit will run from August 25th through October 17th. And the reception took place yesterday, and my understanding was pretty well attended and lots of sales, if I'm correct. Yes. I'm not going to go through all of these programs, but I'm really excited to show you that we have programs. As I've talked with the commission before, we as a recreation team haven't necessarily had the resources to develop programming, but we're working with a number of different vendors and different organizations to offer a variety of programs, which are listed here. I will call out a couple of the events that are coming up. We have the Mid-Autumn Festival, which will take place on Sunday, October 5th. And then we have the Town Center Trick-or-Treating event happening on Friday, October 31st, which is Halloween. And we expect very large numbers in town center for that event. You will notice that we're not doing the pumpkin walk this year. The city isn't coordinating that. We're putting our efforts into the town center trick or treating and expanding the opportunities within that event. So really looking forward to that particular event in collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce and all of the local businesses down there. I will also highlight that I shouldn't say we, Katie Herzog, our recreation supervisor, is also reaching out to a number of businesses that aren't in the town center to help encourage them. And we'll be closing down one of the streets downtown to offer additional booth space so that more of those businesses can be included in that event. Additionally, we have the holiday tree lighting, the holiday makers market, and Argosy Christmas ships. And we'll be doing on that Friday, December 19th, we'll be doing a family movie night, which also happens to be the 20th anniversary of the community center opening day. So we're pretty excited leading into wrapping up this year. Speaking of wrapping up this year, now I'll talk about the planning schedule. No major changes from what was in your packet other than the facility allocation and use policy conversation, the athletic field use and allocation policy. We're going to come to the Parks Commission on that October date, which is to be determined. We're going to give an intro before we go into discussing the actual policy. We want to give the commission a good heads up on what our current usages are, what our processes are, and where we see improvement. We're going to host that conversation at the same time we're starting to engage with our user groups. My anticipation is we'll carry that conversation with user groups through that 3 or 4 month period. And then we'll return to the Parks Commission probably in December or January to have a further conversation on that policy and any updates that we might be recommending at that time. But with more of a community engagement conversation associated with it. And then that December 4th item, intro to the Parks Code, I'll be honest, I don't know if that's something we're going to get to this year. We do have with the Dean's Children's Park site design, the Clark Groveland Joint Infrastructure Plan, possibly e-bike conversations. This might be one that gets kicked down a little bit further. So I just want to be open with the Parks Commission that might not be something we quite get to. It was fairly ambitious, but it is still in our work plan for the biennium, which includes 2026. That might have been my longest presentation to this commission yet, and I apologize, but thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Commissioners, does anybody have any questions of Ryan or staff? Well, just on behalf of the community, Ryan, thank you very much for you and your staff and everybody else. It's obviously was a very, very busy summer, and as you mentioned, I think the weather cooperated quite spectacularly. Also, I think the record should show that Commissioner Markson has joined in session here. The next item on the agenda is to review and consider approving the minutes from our June 5th, 2025 regular hybrid meeting. Commissioners, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I so move.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hay. So there's been a motion by Commissioner Westberg and a second by Commissioner Hay. Commissioners, before we vote, does anyone have any questions, edits on the minutes? All right, seeing none, will the city staff please conduct a roll call?
Thank you, Commissioner Struck. Commissioner Westberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Bretman,
Aye.
Commissioner Cohen,
Aye.
Commissioner Markson,
Aye.
Commissioner Hay,
Aye.
Commissioner Struck,
Hi.
Commissioner McCarthy.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner Struck.
Okay, the motion passes and the minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is the commission officer elections. And for that, we welcome back Recreation Manager Ryan Daly.
Thank you, Commissioner Struck. Ryan Daly again for the record. Tonight, the PRC is scheduled to appoint a new chair, vice chair. They'll be utilizing the following process to elect new officers as noted in the bylaws. Any commissioner may nominate a candidate for chair. No second is needed. Nominees may accept or decline the nomination. If only one nomination is made, it is appropriate to make a motion and obtain a second to instruct the staff liaison to cast a unanimous ballot for that nomination for chair. Approval is by majority vote of the commission present. If more than one nomination is made, an open election is conducted by roll call vote. To be selected, the nominee needs a majority vote of the Parks and Recreation Commission. Does anybody have any questions? No.
Thank you for that. And we will now open the floor for nominations for the position of chair. Commissioners, please raise your hand if you would like to make a nomination for chair. Commissioner Westberg.
I would like to nominate Ashley Hay for the position of chair.
Any other nominations? Okay. Seeing none, I think we would like to go to the motion for unanimous consent.
Yep, if someone would like to make a motion and a second for Commissioner Ashley Hay as chair.
So moved.
I'll second.
All right. Thank you, Jody. So there is approval, a motion by Commissioner Struck, a second by Commissioner McCarthy. Congratulations, Chair Hay.
We will,
We did.
Raven will conduct a roll call vote.
Oh, I
now.
thought it was unanimous. So you didn't have to do that, but okay.
I hope, we'll see how the vote
Oh,
goes.
okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. My bad. Raven, please conduct a roll call vote.
Thank you, Commissioner Struck. Commissioner McCarthy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hay,
Aye.
Commissioner Bretman,
Aye.
Commissioner Cohen,
Aye.
Commissioner Markson,
Aye.
Commissioner Struck,
Aye.
Commissioner Westberg.
Aye.
I guess now we
Thank
say
you.
congratulations, Chair Hay.
Thank you.
Okay, now it
Congratulations.
should switch over to her
It was a little.
for the vice chair.
Yes, let's do
Okay.
that.
Let's
Oh,
do that.
okay,
All right.
okay, here we go.
All
Okay,
right.
so our next item of business is nominating a vice
Yeah.
chair. Do I have any nominations for vice chair? Yes, Commissioner Struck.
Thank you. I would like to nominate Commissioner Westberg for the position of vice chair.
Okay. And do we have any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, it appears to be unanimous and we are ready for the roll call. Raven.
Did we have a motion
Oh,
and a
No.
second?
motion,
Yeah.
please, to appoint Commissioner Struck.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry, Westberg to the position of vice chair. May I have a motion?
Yeah, I will put that motion forth to appoint Commissioner Westberg as vice chair.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Second. Thank you. Raven, please call the roll.
Thank you, Chair Hay. Commissioner McCarthy,
Aye.
Commissioner Bretman,
Aye.
Commissioner Cohen,
Aye.
Commissioner Markson,
Aye.
Commissioner Struck,
Aye.
Chair Hay,
Aye.
Commissioner Westberg.
Aye.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, congratulations. So our next item of business is the Dean's Children's Park Site Plan Update. And for that, we welcome Capital Parks Manager Shelby Perral.
Good evening. Nice to be here. Nice to meet all of you this evening. Let's see. Okay. Can you guys hear me all okay? Perfect. This is my first presentation. So I am very excited today to be talking about the site plan for Dean's Children's Park. Wanting to give you a little roadmap of our conversation tonight. There we go. We have two different parts of our discussion. So the first part is going to be a site tour at Dean's. And as part of that site tour, I'll walk through a brief summary of our early assessment of the park. walk through the first round of community engagement, provide an overview of the design concepts that are out here in the room today, and then give a recap of the second round of community engagement. And then when we come back, we'll have a discussion to help inform the refinement of our design concepts to narrow them down into one site plan, and then we'll end with next steps. So to help you get ready for our conversation when we get back, we're going to be looking for feedback from you tonight and wanting to walk through the questions to help inform our discussion later. So we'll be asking 5 questions. The first is, to what extent do you feel community input has been reflected in these 2 concepts? Number 2 is, which concept better supports the community's long-term goals? Number 3, are there specific aspects of either concept that need additional exploration or clarification before we move forward? Number 4, are there strengths in one concept that should be carried over into the other as we move toward one refined plan? And then last is, based on community outreach to date, does the preferred concept align with the community's priorities and values? And with that, I think that concludes our PowerPoint before our site tour.
Okay, thank you, Shelby.
Mhm.
So now we'll be going on our park tour. I believe the bus is waiting outside for us. It's always very exciting. Commissioners, I'll ask that the staff pause the Zoom broadcast while we undertake the tour. As a reminder, this tour is open to the public and commissioners are not permitted to discuss Parks and Recreation Commission business until we exit the bus and resume the meeting on the tour of Dean's Children's Park.
Chair Hay, if I could just speak real quick. We will be returning as a group to have additional discussion. So I just want to highlight that for the record, that we will be continuing discussion when we come back from the tour, so that that's captured on the record. So thank you. And with that, we will pause and head out to our chair.
Quick
Oh,
question.
thank-
Is the room going to be secure? Can we leave laptops behind?
Yes, we will. Raven will be staying behind and staying in this room.
Thank you. Sorry, Raven.
Okay, we are back. And thank you, Shelby, for that awesome tour. And got to see an initial concept design here, a couple different options. It was really helpful to be on the scene there. So thank you. We had a lot of good questions on site. So now I'd like to turn it back to you, Shelby, to go over those original questions.
Great, thank you so much. And yeah, great discussion out at the park. I just want to thank you all for your fantastic questions. It's very clear that you spent time thinking about these designs, and I think that we have a great path forward. So before we wrap up for the evening, I'd love to go through these 5 questions with you. The first being, to what extent do you feel the community input has been reflected in these 2 concepts?
Any comments?
Here, I have one. And I said this to Shelby back there. I was very impressed at the input received from elementary school students and appreciated their inclusion in the packets and being able to get a real contextual sense of things. So it seems that the community input has been very good so far on this particular effort. And I think that is a positive, how do I say this tactfully, a positive development given some past projects.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Westberg?
I haven't, read through in detail through all the community input, but in terms of just having read through the materials provided for this meeting, it seems like you've done a very good job conceptually to capture the big themes that came up during at various points during the community input process, including the material from the students at the elementary school. So the devil, of course, will be in the details, but right now, conceptually, I think you've done a good job of capturing sort of what's on people's minds.
Commissioner Struck, did you have a comment? Okay. Any other comments?
I agree with what everyone else has said about the involvement that occurred or that you described. And I'll just point out that, not only did I see it pop up in many different types of media that I follow, but it popped up on like community WhatsApp, the groups that, that I like in my neighborhood and other chat groups. So I think I feel confident that the word got out. So thanks.
Great. Okay. And
Quick comment. I also serve on the PTA Council for Mercer Island School District, and there have been many shout outs that you probably have not heard about the city's willingness to reach out and work with the schools and the desire to continue to forge that relationship between our PTA and our schools as well as the city. So thank you so much for that effort. There's been a lot of enthusiasm, including my own children who came home, and one of them was so excited. That was the first thing he wanted to tell me, is that he got to tell me what he got to be able to tell you what he wants Dragon Park to look like. So wonderful to involve our children in democracy and create that space for them. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
agree. Thank you. Yeah, the outreach was broad and appreciated. So I think we're ready for question 2.
Okay. So question 2 is, which concept better supports the community's long-term goals? So just to recap, we had the Quest, which was that more fantasy storybook concept that really leans into Kenton's Dragon. And then Woodsy Wonders really builds on the forest setting of the park and has the more treehouse imaginative play.
Commissioners?
This is purely a guess, but I think the Woodsy Wonders option probably dovetails more with both with the curricula in the schools and what the kids are learning about environmental stewardship and about their northwest environment, as well as offers a broader range of opportunities for organized play that reinforces those concepts and those goals. That's my opinion.
Commissioner Markson?
Yeah, I think that the Woodsy Wonders, what it reminds me of is when we went through the pros plan, the one thing that came to the top, and I can't remember how many surveys they did, but I think there were quite a few, was the trails on the island being a key feature that everyone enjoyed. And just this kind of theme fits into that part of the island that all islanders appreciate, so.
Thank you.
I prefer Woodsy Wonders.
Commissioner Bretman?
I think we also heard that you had gotten feedback that folks like the Woodsy Wonders because it appeals to children of multiple ages, which is, I think, is also a real benefit of this kind of, of this concept. So, thank you.
Yeah, and just to follow on, I think that, from the community engagement, what I found very refreshing was that overall these different groups, different settings, different timeframes, that all this community groups community forums came back with pretty much the same answer, that the Woodsy Wonder was preferred, conceptually. And so I think we're fairly safe in kind of moving forward with that design.
Any other comments? It sounds like it's consensus that we like the Woodsy Wonders. As far as long-term goals, the community's long-term goals, which is the question, really both achieve those long-term goals. I see two really good options here, but I agree with the Woodsy Wonders being one that's going to grow with the community over time, kids of all ages. So I agree. Yeah,
Are we ready for question 3 then?
I think we are.
Okay. And this is somewhat dovetailing off of our conversations out at the park. Are there specific aspects of either concept that need additional exploration or clarification before moving forward?
Commissioner Westberg?
Well, one area that needs, I think, both more exploration and clarification is the relationship between the park and the bike skills area, particularly from an access standpoint. How are we going to merge those potentially conflicting uses or interests in a relatively confined area? And then a second one would be the concepts put forward, general locations for prime facilities, the picnic shelter, the restroom, but obviously those need to be thought through more and in terms of the overall design and how they would be used by different groups.
Thank you. Commissioner Struck?
In addition, I think, we also spent a little bit of time talking about, the materials that would be used in the play structures and in the overall. And again, I think at this point, that's an open question, but something that we'll look forward to hearing more about as the process moves forward.
Commissioner Markson?
Thank you. Just to dovetail on, I agree on everything that was said, but the materials used, we had some discussion about whether the longevity of feet, like what happens to the materials that are there and the lifetime of those. So just making sure we understand what it really means to have a structure at the end of its life, but also exploring whether there's a way to reuse some materials such as the wood from the structure and what those natural, as Commissioner Struck said, what the natural materials are that will be used in the new structures. And then I just made a couple notes about, the location of openings, having more discussion around that topic. There were a few options and pros and cons of those, so that'll be helpful to think through. And we heard about the importance of a zip line to the community, so maybe that's something that we can put in either final design. And I think that's all I had. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Bretman?
Also, something that we discussed is how many really active structures there will be and what levels of activity that we'll be able to have on the structures, and ensuring that we have a similar, something that's great about the park is that we do have great structures there that allow for a lot of activity for busy kids. So wanting to kind of maintain that and not lose that level of activity.
And if I can add on to that, I think you also mentioned wanting to understand the different age groups that the play equipment would be serving so that we can come back and show those percentages to have a better understanding as well, right? Okay.
And two other aspects I remember that came up were a question about how high can we go in terms of fall area and trees and surface. And the other seemed like a exploration topic was how to tie the dragon into the park if we want to make that more of an element that we tie in with equipment pieces, or if it's just kind of another part of the park that they can go to. Anything else? Yes, thank you, Commissioner Bretman.
Sure. Yeah, and accessibility for folks of different abilities.
All right, I will add one more thing. We had quite a bit of discussion. I know I already mentioned like the park openings and the number, but we had quite a bit of discussion around flow into and out of and around the park for various purposes, which I know is not really what the purpose of this design is, but it seems like it would answer some questions and help with the design overall. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I think we're ready for question 4.
Perfect. Are there strengths in one concept? Oops, sorry. Are there strengths in one concept that should be carried over into the other as we move toward one refined plan?
I think Commissioner Markson already mentioned the zip line, which is hugely popular. So any other aspects and strengths, elements? Commissioner Bretman?
One is having the bathroom so close to the bike area so that the bikes didn't need to come across the area where kids are playing.
Commissioner Struck?
Yeah, as I think was already mentioned, but just to reiterate, I think that in the Woodsy Wonder design, the dragon is kind of off by itself a little bit, whereas in the Quest, it's more integrated. And I think there was some discussion about, well, as was mentioned earlier, we should consider, should we try to integrate that a little bit more, taking maybe a page from the Quest.
Commissioner Westbrook?
I second Commissioner Struck's comment. That was the comment I was going to make too. Let's figure out a way to get the dragon into the Woodsy Wonder story.
Any other comments? Okay, moving on.
Okay, final question. Based on community outreach to date, does the preferred concept align with the community's priorities and values?
I think, do we want to do a thumbs up or a thumbs down on that? Thumbs up for yes. All right, unanimous.
Great.
Good work.
Thank you all so much for your time tonight and for walking through everything with me. It's so helpful to see things in person and just really appreciate your perspective. And I think the comments that you have, I'm really excited to see how they transform into the next iteration when we come back to you in November.
Chair, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
If memory serves, when we passed the parks levy, we had about $1 million a year of budget for doing parks. This strikes me as it's gonna be a lot more than that. Is that a safe assumption? And do we have any even ballpark ideas on cost right now?
Great question. So we will have about 1.3 for this first phase, and that will be inclusive of design, engineering, and construction. So part of what we're tasked with is identifying phasing for the project. So the first phase will include the replacement of at least one playground structure, but it's likely that the work will be completed in multiple phases as funding allows.
Thank you, Councilmember Reynolds, for asking that question. And it actually brought another question to mind, which I know we're not to worry, but we're not supposed to get into the budgeting of things in our particular role here. But out of curiosity, I do recall in the pros plan, we have two different line items on a different time frame for this particular park. It's broken into kind of different years. Are we sticking with that plan, or are we combining the two segments of the park for this one project? Does that make sense, Ryan? How there's each of our parks has a schedule and a budget for it, and this is so large that it's broken into two different projects, so to speak.
My understanding is that the 25-26 CIP has it's a total of 1.5 allocated for the play area improvements, but that also includes the costs with the developing the site plan. So once we complete the site plan, there will be 1.3 just for Dean's Play improvements.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Did that answer the question? Okay.
Commissioner Markson?
Sorry, I have to go back to one more thing in question 3 that I forgot to mention. Sorry. I know one thing that we talked about was kind of the unstructured area of the play area. And I know that's different than developing the park, but it might be helpful to put it on the map, as, this part is a little more open for unstructured play. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Markson. All right. Any other questions or comments for Shelby? All right. Thank you, Shelby. This is very informative and really appreciate all the information on the tour on site. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excited to see where this goes. Okay. The last item of business is absences and commissioner reports. Commissioners, do you have anything to report, including planned absences?
I might, depending on what the scheduling is of the October meeting, so.
Okay, thank you. Ryan, you'll be sending out some options for that October meeting, correct?
Yes, Chair. Now that we have a chair and vice chair, I will be reaching out to you early next week, and we'll talk about some possible dates for that October meeting.
Great. Commissioner,
I don't know if this was a Parks and Rec thing or not, but was it the Bat Night? Was that a Parks and Rec sponsored event?
The Bat Night, yes, that was through our natural resources team.
Okay, that was great.
Awesome.
I attended and it was really fun. Lots of people there. Thanks.
okay. Commissioner Westberg?
This is more of a suggestion or request in the way of, rather than a report, but it came to my attention at summer celebration that Paul West had retired. I don't know, I think I was asleep at the wheel or something when that happened, but and just given the major contributions that Paul made to a whole bunch of projects that we got involved with and a tremendous amount of support that he provided to this group, I wanted to propose the idea that we send him a letter just acknowledging his career, his contributions to the Parks Commission and wishing him a good retirement. And Ryan has volunteered to help me draft such a letter.
I will absolutely help, and I would suggest we rope in the chair as well
Okay.
for our first leadership meeting.
I mean,
think
I
that's
can
a
do that in the
wonderful-
form of a motion if you want to vote on it, but
Yeah, I think maybe that's something we can add to the agenda to review it as a group. I think it's a fantastic idea. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I had one unrelated point, okay? And I wasn't at the last meeting, so if this has already been done, I apologize, but I wanted to recognize Peter Struck for his hard work as chair over many years through difficult times, difficult issues and everything. So I don't know if that was done because he was no longer literally the chair at the June meeting either, but I think it's deserves all the applause he can get for that.
Let's give him some.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Agreed. Thank you. Okay, commissioners, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Okay. Please, do we vote on it, right? Do we need to call the roll on that?
Since you made a motion, we should vote on it.
we should vote on a motion.
Okay, may we please call the roll? Raven, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair Hay,
Aye.
Vice Chair Westberg,
Affirmative.
Commissioner Struck,
Aye.
Commissioner Cohen,
I.
Commissioner Markson,
Aye.
Commissioner Brettman.
Aye.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, the next regular Parks and Rec Commission meeting is TBD sometime in early October. Due to the holiday, we will work to reschedule that. The time is now 7:41 and the meeting is adjourned. However, as a reminder to commissioners, please stay seated until the city staff has terminated the Zoom broadcast. Good evening, and thank you for joining us.